morning, Lincoln Links. Welcome back. My name is Lindsay Weisner.
And I'm Bradley Howard, and this is Lincoln Links News, where we will keep you up to date with events that are happening in the school and the community.
This spring break, a lot of our students and staff members went to different states to take a vacation, such as Arizona, Hawaii, Idaho, and Nevada. Let's see where everyone went and what COVID restrictions looked like where they went.
So I went to Hawaii for my spring break to see some family. They have a program, very, very restrictive to even get on the flight. I had to have a negative COVID test within 72 hours, and then for 10 days thereafter, every day I had to check in and let them know that I was doing okay. Otherwise, I would have had to do a quarantine for 10 days. So they're very serious, taking it very seriously, even if your test results came in after your flight had gone, they would still make you quarantine. So it was a little nerve-wracking, going to Hawaii and thinking, oh man, do I get to hang out on the beach or am I stuck in a room? So they were taking it very seriously, and I know that while I was there, they were talking about perhaps adjusting it for vaccinated travelers. But at this point, I haven't heard anything. Taking it very seriously still this day.
So for Easter vacation, for our spring break, my mother and my sister and I drove to Ocean Shores, Washington, and we visited a cousin and a couple of friends, and we did beach combing. We noticed in Washington that people are, it seems a lot like Montana. When you go into stores, most stores people are wearing masks. When you go into a restaurant, they ask you to wear a mask when you come in, and then when you sit down, you can take it off. And people seem to be abiding by all the rules, even me.
So over spring break, we traveled down south to Nevada to visit my family. They live in a town about an hour north of Las Vegas. So on the trip down, going through Utah, Idaho, and into Nevada, restrictions, you could tell there was restrictions in place for COVID. A lot of people were wearing masks. While we were in Nevada, the county that we were in at my mother's place actually lifted the mask mandate, and then it kind of came down to individual businesses where Walmart required them but didn't enforce it very well, so there's a lot of people that weren't. Other businesses didn't require it at all. Restaurants, even in Idaho and Utah, waitresses weren't wearing masks. A lot of the people that came in, I remember looking at my family, we felt kind of out of place because we were wearing our masks every time we went in everywhere, and we'd be the only ones, people be looking at us like we were weird. So I would say there was some COVID restrictions in place for sure, you could tell, but it was not enforced very well, and then you just kind of got the sense that a lot of people were just over it and ready to move on.
Thanks everybody for telling us about your spring break vacations. We wanted to do some research on each of the states and their COVID restrictions to see if they are living up to their restrictions.
In Arizona, there are no state-implemented restrictions for individuals visiting Arizona from other U.S. states or international countries. When you're ready to explore the wonders of Arizona again, they will be willing to let you back in.
In Hawaii, after April 16th, COVID restrictions have changed in some places in Hawaii. Hawaii continues with the state's safe travel testing program. Even for fully vaccinated passengers, travelers must have negative test results to continue in places without a 10-day quarantine.
In the state of Nevada, people who have been tested positive for COVID-19 are discouraged from socializing. Those who are having COVID-19 symptoms should not be traveling to the state at this time.
Idaho Governor Brad Little announced he would roll back COVID-19 restrictions. Remember to keep at least 6 feet of distance between you and others in public, wear face coverings in public places, and stay home if you're sick.
We also wanted to give you guys a little sports update. Track is going well this year, with things looking pretty normal for the most part. We interviewed Coach John Beckman on how this year's track season has been going, and if missing last year's track season has affected the team.
I do believe that it has affected this season's track team, just simply because the fact of last year's track season that we didn't get to participate all those students that were freshmen are now sophomores. So basically this year's freshmen we have, and then last year's freshmen. So I have 2 years of basically freshman kids that are just now starting learning to compete with high school level events. So absolutely it has made a difference from last year's anyway. But this year's season's going well. We have 12 kids competing, and all different kind of events. So for the most part, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the way things are going. So I think those new kids that are going now and starting freshmen and sophomores, we've got some potential here for the upcoming season. We do have a senior this year, Lindsay, is throwing shot and disc very well. Hopefully we can try to get her to state, and maybe one of those events would be good. Janet Templeton is doing phenomenal in the long jump, triple jump also, so we'd like to see her even probably make it to there. I think most of the kids will place in districts. I think all of them, maybe, but one might go to divisionals. So we'll see what happens at divisionals and go from there.
All right, thank you.
You bet.
Thanks for the track update, John. How's the track season been for you, Lindsay?
It has actually been my favorite track season yet. The bus rides and the energy of the team this year is so great. I'm so thankful for all who came out this year. The weather has really been treating us well too this year. I got a really nice tan going, which reminds me, let's go see what Brody has in store for us with his weather report.
The weather for Friday the 29th will be partly cloudy with a high of 71 degrees and a low of 46 degrees. Saturday will also be partly cloudy, but the high will be 61 degrees and the low for the day will be 37 degrees. And then finally, the weather for Sunday will also be partly cloudy with a high of 54 degrees and a low of 32 degrees. Make sure to get some sunshine. Back to you, Lindsay and Brad.
Thanks for the weather report, Brody. Next up, we've got Andrea with our Gadget review.
Andrew Lamana here, and welcome back to this week's Gadget Review. This week we'll be going over Ozobot, or I like to call him Wrench. Wrench here is a little robot that we will be coding today to follow a drawing, and coding is a process of using zeros, ones, and colors to make something, like Wrench here, do what you want him to do. So we got our little friend Wrench here, who is now turned on, so you will see him just drive around or make weird noises. So Wrench basically runs on codes, and in this case he runs on color codes instead of numbers and such. So they provide us markers and like coding reference sheets for us to know how to make him move and follow our drawings. So here's an example of a drawing sheet that they provided us. So you just stick him on start, and he usually reads it, but I guess not now. There we go. And then sometimes he will just decide to drive wherever he wants, so. But we'll try drawing our own and see how that goes. And then he also has the app that you can drive him around and choose where you want him to go. So. So that's fun. Let's see what he decides to. Ew. And there we go. And he follows the line which you drew. So this is what we drew. Yep. So if you can get a chance to get your hands on one of these, I recommend it because they're cute and they're fun. So I think this gadget review went well. Oh, and there it goes again. Now back to you, Lindsay and Brad.
Thanks for that great gadget review. Next up, we have Mr. R's Mysteries.
Although meets were held on the North American continent as early as 1839, track and field first gained popularity in the late 1860s, after the formation of the New York Athletic Club in 1868.
Thanks, Mr. R. Well, that's all we have this week. I'm Lindsay Weisner.
And I'm Bradley Howard. This is Lincoln Links Newscast, signing off.